is interesting to look at your career, because even though you've been at it for a while, it feels like people are just now kind of really getting to know you. At what point did you know for sure this is something that I want to do for the rest of my life, and this is something I know I can make money at?
The funny thing is the money part never really clicked. Because I've been underpaid most of my career. I think just until the past few years, I finally, you know who the first person who paid me without me having to negotiate, ask questions, do the dance was Tyler Perry.
He has that reputation.
He
He has
came
that
through.
reputation.
I said, what happened now? Who said what? So he was the first person that came to the table. And since then, there's in the past few years, I think since the pandemic, I've been very much, I think it comes back to the whole being unbothered. Is like, I can say no if you don't pay me what I think I'm worth, and I'm fine with that. So I think that has helped, me not be impressed of just taking whatever comes in my lap. Like, no.
I want to go back to something you said. You brought up Tyler Perry, and Tyler Perry. It was funny you told that story about, like, he was the first person that you didn't have to negotiate, because Taraji P. Henson said that he was the very first person that paid her actual rate, where there wasn't a lot of back and forth. But in general, because of the way he's built his business, which is so unlike Hollywood, give us an idea of like what it was like to be a part of the Tyler Perry universe.
I was excited because, first of all, as a Black actor, when you move to Hollywood, every auntie, older cousin, grandma be like, well, why don't you just go work with Tyler? Like, it's that easy. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Like you could just call him up. Hey, Tyler, I'm coming to work with you.
So for me to finally get that call, like 10 years deep, I was like, oh, snap, it's happening. I finally can tell everybody I've arrived. Tyler Perry wants to work with me. So it was just exciting to get that call. But then also to witness, like I said, I'd always wanted to have my own production company and studio when I was in college. That was my goal. And everybody always told me how it's going to be so hard and how you need money. And I was like, so for me, he's very inspiring. This is a man that used to be homeless. And here he is in this multi-million-dollar sound stages and like just acres and acres of land. And he's also a fellow germaphobe. So I was like, I feel like I'm going to be safe when I go to set of this pandemic. But I was excited to go work and like see Medea, full frontal, like in my face. And it was so funny. The first day he's like, so don't be put off when I'm 6 foot, whatever, when I come up to you dressed as a woman in my deep voice giving you directions. You know what I'm saying? So it's just like, because my first day was a scene with him as Medea. And it was very interesting to just see him play himself, be himself, and then put on the Medea whole persona, and then the Uncle Joe whole persona, and like just be this director and like calling the shots, and just seeing him in his element was really, really inspiring to watch. And then to just witness firsthand, like, first of all, driving up to it's an experience, like driving up to the campus and all of the faces that look like me, and to know that that man is responsible for all of this employment here. To me, it was just beautiful. Like, it was really, I don't know, it was a special, touching experience to just be like, oh, Tyler did it. He's doing it for us. And like, you feel like a genuine love when you were there.
So there was never a point, maybe not in the early days, but even if you're going through tough patches in your career, where you thought like, this might not be for me?
I've never felt it wasn't for me. There were times where the hard work became a lot, where it would just take over, where I call it actor depression. So we get on this high when things are going. We're just ba 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 ba. Life is good. Life is it's fueling us. When everything stops, it's like a crash, especially if you only got nothing else lined up, nothing else is going on. And because we live in a world and a space where, this is even before social media was what it is now, it's just like you live in a world where you're comparing or being compared to your peers. So there's this constant pressure on your back to what's next. So that's what I was saying when you were asking about the being unbothered. I no longer deal with that, which is such a saving grace. I think it first hit me when I booked Rosewood. I remember like this feeling just went through my body. Of course I prayed and I cried, because a part of it was like, hallelujah, I'm done auditioning for this year. I was so grateful to be, I was like, woo, them auditions was killing me for pilot season. But I was like, it was the first time it clicked, like, oh my gosh, that saying of what's for me is for me, or what's for you is for you, meant for you. And we say stuff because we hear it, it sounds good, you try to psych yourself up, but that was the first time it clicked, because there were so many jobs prior to that I really, really wanted, that I really thought I was right for, that I really was so close, or this or that, da, 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 da. And then that one I was like, oh, this was the one that had my name on it. This is the job. Pippi Rosewood was for me. That was nobody else's. So when I had a little moment on the couch and I cried, because of course they like to dangle the wait time. Like they were like, oh, well, you might have like 5 days for them to let you know, because you have to sign your contract when you actually audition. And of course they wait till like day 5, hour 12. You know what I'm saying? You're like on the couch, barely can breathe. And every time the phone rings, you're like, huh? So then the phone rang. I was like, whoa. So it was also like a release and tension of like all this emotion. But it really, really was. I swear to you, Jemele, like it was like, it hit me that what's meant for you is meant for you. And I believed that ever since that day. And I haven't wavered from that. And it helped me accept all of the no's, because you get so many no's. It helped me accept that so much easier now, that it's now like when Rosewood got canceled, I was excited about like, oh, well, what's next? Not, oh, I lost a job. It's like, okay, cool, God, what's up next? Like, what we doing now? And then Luke Cage came around. So it was like, it's about kind of staying in a space of controlling what you can control, because we can't control those no's. We can't control what goes on in those rooms. All I can do is show up and do my best work, be my best self. But to be my best self and to do my best work, I have to take care of myself, which is my mental health, my physical health, and being present as I can, with being in tune with what I need in life, when it comes to how to cope with those no's and to cope with this industry. So that was a big eye opener for me when that moment clicked.
With all that being said, and it's great that you're able to have that attitude and that perspective about it. Is there a role that you didn't get that you still think about?
Not a role that I got, but a role that I had that didn't continue. I will say, when I did get Luke Cage, I was so excited because they had slow walked this character to have this big reveal. And then literally the day before I got the call that they canceled the show, I had gotten a call about how big my character was going to be in the next season, how much like, oh, you're going to be the new villain and da 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 da. So I was stoked, and I've always wanted to do like a superhero or like a supervillain, or like be in that world, in that space. I was like that close. I was in the Marvel universe, but never really got to just show off. Like I got to rock those Afro puffs one time. I was like, come on, man, let me rock those Afro puffs again. Give me the Afro puffs.
I loved Luke Cage. It was
Yeah.
easily one of my favorite shows. And when they announced they were canceling that, I was just distraught. Like, I can't believe it. And it was awesome because I got to do a cameo in it. And
Mm-hmm.
so the writing, just all of it, the entire series. And I was just like, this show has got to come back somewhere. And I know it was, politics above everybody's pay grade
Yeah.
that played a role in
And
it being
it shocked
canceled.
us.
But
I don't think anyone saw it coming. It was very
no,
much
because
so.
it didn't get canceled because it wasn't successful. That's for
Right.
sure. It had
Right.
nothing to do with that. So
That
that
one
was,
definitely hurt. That one hurt.
yeah.
That one still stings a little bit to this day, just because I think, had I not known that there was a potential of like where that character was going to go, but like it's just kind of like it was that carrot that was dangled in front of your face. But it's just like one day I'll just have to. What that means is one day I'll either have to create my own, in that same kind of a space, my own character, my own project, or maybe that role will come back around in some capacity, and I'll just be able to really, really show my ass then.
Well, speaking of, so you've been able to, work closely with, somebody like Robin. We see what has happened with Quinta Brunson's career. Somebody also who is a Black Lady Sketch Show alum. You look at someone like Issa Rae. How has seeing their career path, both as being in front of the camera and behind the camera, how has that influenced maybe how you move?
It's very motivational. It's definitely let me take I guess a inventory of how I've had this problem most of my life of like dimming my light, and because I remember because I went to performing arts school, and because I was doing a lot of commercials and different things, there was like, I was very keenly aware of the first time I was at the vending machine, and some girls was like, she thinks she all that. Mind you, I hadn't opened my mouth. I was literally just standing. But because their perception of me was, I thought I was all that because I'm doing da 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 da, that stuck with me. And I didn't realize it then, but like later on, I was like, oh, that's kind of where a part of me has dimmed my light, or I'm afraid to do too much. Like, okay, things are naturally happen, but I don't want to push it. I don't want to do too much. And I'm like, no, that's not how these women are making the moves that they're making. That's not these, and it's not even about a self thing. It's more of like, these women are helping change other women's lives. These women are helping create other careers and other opportunities and helping other people feed their families. That to me is more important than what it would bring to me personally from a success standpoint. So to be able to see that legacy that all of them are able to leave behind, that to me is what's very inspiring and motivating in the sense that, okay, it's time to like dust off your shoulders, put on your big girl boots, and just be ready to do above and beyond what your comfort level. You know what I'm saying? We get into a groove where you're comfortable staying in the space as an actress, but that's not all I can do. Like, I write, I produce, I direct, but now it's time to step on that other side of the fear or the doubt or the what ifs. You know what I mean? Like, getting those seeds out of my head in that space. Like, the acting lane, I feel very comfortable over here, but because I feel like other people are comfortable with me in that space, now it's about like, whether they're comfortable or not, it's time to make some moves. You know what I mean? So I think for me, just seeing these boss women, like, they are so boss in what they do, and none of them come with a air of arrogance. None of them come with a better than me attitude. It's just very refreshing to just see women stick with their vision. They are very clear with what they want to do with these projects, and to see them go from page to stage, to me, is just like, wow.
Mm. So when is a Black Lady Sketch Show coming back? When can we see you all again?
I would expect this year.
Okay.
I don't have any dates or anything, but we've already filmed. So I can't imagine. I mean, I would imagine this season would be this year sometime. But no later than I would assume next year. I hope they won't make us wait that long. But we finished season 4. I can't believe we've done 4 freaking seasons of the
It's
show.
crazy.
It's insane, but people love it. We love doing it. It's a lot of work. I don't think
It
people know
is. I've seen that up
how.
close. Like, it is a lot of work.
Woo, when I tell you, every joint in my body hurts when I play the gang leader, like every muscle, because like everything is like incorporated. And comedy is so much about timing, and like, so you have to always be on. So it's exhausting. By the time you get, like, I don't think people know how much work goes into playing doing sketch, and our production does such a great job of them all feeling like little individual movies, like little mini short films or whatever. Like, that's the level of quality production that goes into it. We're always in a different location. We don't shoot on a sound stage where we just kind of move stages around. The fact that hair does a great job of not repeating a look. There, and to watch Robin and her team just be so laser focused. They have a specific idea for everything, and all the departments have to come together and make it work. So it's a lot of work that goes into it. And I think Robin pretty much works on that show almost all year round, between the writing, the performing, the editing, the promoting of it. So just hats off to her. Just, it's amazing.